Yes. Good people. There's something I'm gonna ask of you right now. You got to understand. Here we are. This is a day of rejoice. And I need you to join me in fellowship, to join me. Donate right now to the Empire State Token. It's called the Big Apple Dividend. Empire State Token. When you stake this token, Empire State, you get Big Apple dividends. Yes. Put everything in and get nothing out. You will get wrecked. That is the purpose of you. You will get wrecked. Pleb. Buy into my token. You sacrifice. It's an ICO. Donate now. The sacrifice phase, the ICO, the donation phase is now. It's live. The Empire State Token. You stake it, you get Big Apple dividends. This is especially for the Hex community. I want to see you all get wrecked. Buy into my token right now. And Richard Hart, you my nigga. Richard.
What's up?
And when pulsechain comes out, it's okay. You'll have twice the chance to lose everything and get wrecked. Embrace the wreckness. Embrace it all. Embrace the loss. Richard Hart, you my nigga. Yes. Embrace it all. Embrace the wreckness. Lose. Get all types of nothing. Be happy with nothing. Okay? Empire State Token. The sacrifice is live. You stake it, you get Big Apple dividends.
Next up, we're going to skip your program.
What's going on, everybody? It is the Crypto Wonder. Let's get right into it. Hope you're doing well. Now, this whole thing with Hex people, this whole thing with Hedron, Icosa, you guys, Hex is pretty much created these ideas for people to develop on top of it, right? And introduce more value for members in the community so that members could utilize what's available and enjoy the spoils, and to allow these smart contracts to work on our behalf, to work for us. Like it's astounding. It's amazing when I think about where we are right now in this space. Like at this point, there are very intelligent people in this community. Just like real recognizes real, intelligence recognizes intelligence. There are, and the reason why I say that is because I remember looking back when Hex first launched. There were more people that were against it, including myself, than those who took a chance and stayed the course. It took a chance, it took a risk. And the reasons why people were against it, a whole slew, were not the reasons why I was against it. But that's neither here nor there. After 3 years, the blockchain is still working. Well, we understand Ethereum. It didn't go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. Anything short of a cataclysmic event. Super stuff going on. Like, other people will have other things to worry about. If Ethereum shuts down, this gonna, the implications of that will be large, because that would mean there's no electricity, right? And if there's no electricity, we're going to be sent back how many thousands of years and introduce a new type of age, dark age, 2.0, who knows? Hex is still here, right? It's still working. But it's more than just how it works on the surface. There's a lot of people, including myself again. Depending on what it is, I'm not really interested in how certain things work. Like a car, for example, I'm not a mechanic type of person. If I utilize a car, I want to make sure that it works. I want to make sure that it's safe and reliable. It takes me to point A and point B. I don't want to know how the engine was put together. A computer, I want to make sure it works. I don't want to know how it was built. A smartphone, I want to make sure it works. I don't want to know how it was created, how it was built, right? But when it comes to hex, and you really study what this is, it is more than just about watching, some type of blockchain type of surface level connecting dots and talking about some recycling ETH. This is more involved, much more involved than that. When you really take the and then some people won't, because a lot of people, they have their different levels of whatever. Some people may not be interested or favor doing any research whatsoever, and some may just go, balls to the wall. Like this is what they do. They're in the books, and then you have the people in between who do a little bit of both. But you'll find when you dig deep and do some serious research on your own time, not just listen to me. Don't listen to what I'm saying or the majority of people who talk about this. If you do your work on your own, not only will you realize or, draw your own conclusions, but it will be rewarding in a sense, because it's from the efforts of your work to understand how this thing even works, if it matters enough to you, and you'll discover some amazing things. And I say that as a person that's been in crypto since 2017. You'll discover some amazing things about this thing right here, where you'll be in utter amazement. Well, I am still, and I've been learning about it, and you continue to learn, because you never stop learning. And this thing is amazing. This thing is amazing here, y'all. It's not about being a fanboy. It's deeper than that. We're talking about understanding how programmable money works without human interruption, human involvement. Well, that's what we're talking about, like the levels of how this can even exist. A lot of us take things for granted. Crypto, yeah, peer-to-peer, blockchain, immutable, censorship resistant, permissionless, all this stuff, but we don't dig deep. It just stays there. It just becomes words that we just regurgitate, not really understanding what these terms are, immutable code, all this, no third parties, but when you dig deeper, when you really understand the inner workings of this thing, and how, even from the perspective of studying how the contract works and how the community relates to the contract, the activities of the community, how it benefits the community. Oh man, I'm completely astonished over and over and over again. It's because it's a lot of variables involved for me. That's why I remain satisfied. When I say that, I mean that in every sense of the word. Like, I remain at peace with just knowing, look, it's like you do what you do, you have the coin, whatever, you lock it up, you set it and forget it, and you live life. That is so boring for some people, and I get it, because you want something more involved. You want to be distracted. You want to just be sort of like chase the thrill. You want to be thrilled every day. I don't know what that's about, but I appreciate calm. I appreciate being in control. I appreciate having the ability to make my own decisions. I appreciate having my own operation working for me. I'm describing Hex. You're in control. You decide on your own. No one does anything for you. It's there for you to use. You decide what you want to do. You have the power to do that. It's up to you. A lot of times it's true. It's not about what other people are doing or someone else's faults or listening and aligning with some type of negative externality, like to blame everything on other people. It's not always about that. A lot of times we are our own worst enemies, because sometimes we talk ourselves out of chances, out of opportunities, out of moments that can potentially change our lives in ways that we can't imagine, in a positive way, of course. We talk ourselves out of doing these things. You know, like we sort of like overanalyze to the point where nothing happens. And then we miss opportunities. Why is that? Why do we get to a point where, while we're living through history and we're experiencing certain things, look at what the majority of the world has missed within the last 3 years with Hex? The majority. I mean, there's no way. Listen, if less than 1 million people in this planet are interacting with Hex, much less the derivatives, that means what, 99% of the world missed the boat are missing the boat. They're missing this opportunity. And there are many more people than 1 million who are in crypto, they say, right? Let's say there's 100 million. Let's say it's 250 million people who are interacting with cryptocurrency as we speak. I don't know if I'm just picking a number out of thin air, arbitrary number. But you only have, what, 1 million or 500,000 people holding Hex? Not even the stakers, holding Hex. And a fraction of that staking, mining, whatever you want to call it. You see the opportunity, not just cost, but loss that so many people are experiencing right now. Well, you know, a lot of people factor in, they don't understand Hex. They don't understand the purpose of the OA, right? They think that just the fact that the owner, not the founder, I would say, the founder of Hex, the fact that he doesn't admit to owning the OA, how that's just a malevolent act, like how that can just be the worst thing somebody can do, and just rob the people of their monies and things of that nature. They just simply don't want to understand how this, and take the time to study how this thing works. They don't want to do that. You know, they rather remain ignorant. I made a choice not to remain ignorant anymore, not to allow preconceived notions that were just, they weren't even substantiated, based on what? Based on foolishness, to dictate me missing the boat. I had to stop that. I did for myself. And I have no regrets. Granted, my view could be different from someone else's view, especially if you got into the community when prices were raging. Like if you bought the top at that point during these cycles, and then you're still around and had to experience this 95+% drop over the last year and a half. I know that brings a certain level of discomfort, but it's a thing where if you're trading, in a sense, I could see your uneasiness. I could see even you being angry. at what's going on. But if you're not trading, and if you have a long-term view, the short-term fluctuations and occurrences and price changes really don't matter, and especially if you have these coins working for you. You know, why would you care what happens in the next 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, if you're staking for over 10 years? If you're, 15 years, what are we talking about? And then while you're mining these coins, people forget how these things, they don't understand how this thing works. A lot of influencers just, like even BitBoy Crypto, he'll say he's not sure about Hex because he just doesn't understand it, but you're not willing to understand it, because if you did, his tune would be different if he was real about it, not just being a fanboy of Richard, but if he understood that even from a basic level, when you're mining this thing, when people emergency end stake, you get a piece of that, including the OA. But stakers, miners, I'm tired of playing these word games. I'm gonna say what it is. The rewards that you receive come from people emergency end staking too, when they get penalized for not upholding to the contract that they decided to create as far as the staking term and length. When you emergency end stake, that means you're not completing, the stake didn't complete, the time it didn't complete. So when you break that agreement, you get penalized. Depending on how long you've staked it, you'll get penalized severely. Half of it goes to the OA and the rest of it goes to the people who are in the community, staking, mining, publishing, whatever you want to call it. People don't take into account these things. The unforeseen events have been accounted for in that sense, where not everyone is going to hold out 15 years. Do we not understand that? For different reasons, because life, how about that? And you receive the benefit, and that includes things with the derivatives too. They function the same in that sense. If you don't uphold your agreement, they call it the truth engine, right? Because it's what it is. If you don't uphold your agreement in staking with Hedron and Nicosa, you'll suffer a penalty. And guess who gets rewarded? Those in the mining class. And you're doing nothing. You're not actively pressing any buttons at that point. You're just living your life while this thing is working for you. Hopefully you have like certain things, and it's just the basic level. And it doesn't take much either to get involved with these things. We understand Ethereum 2.0 POS, to me, is a piece of SHIT, in my opinion, because it's just whatever. I don't like it anymore. It's, to me, it's no longer crypto in a sense, especially if you have entities that are pretty much aligned, or I would say overseeing the activities of the blockchain, making sure that it becomes censorship compliant, not resistant, but compliant. See, those are issues to me. That's not a cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency wasn't about being pro-censorship. But that's my opinion. Ethereum is not what it once was before September 14th, when the merge happened, September 14th, 2022. And since then, we've had 2 forks, chains that are just there, working. We'll see what comes out of those forks in the future. Time will tell. But it's still, they follow the proof of work algorithm. 2 different chains. If you were staking before September 14th, you got copies on those 2 chains of everything you had on Ethereum. We'll see what those chains yield and bring in the future. But Ethereum itself, the gas fees are still ridiculous. Just doesn't make sense. Of course, there's going to be constant upgrades. That's not even a finished, you know how we talk about product. versus project and all this stuff. That Ethereum is not even a finished product because it's constantly going through upgrades, you know, and that's okay for that. I understand and for that sense, but I don't like it because for you to do simple transactions is going to cost you an arm and a leg. But that's neither here nor there. We're remaining on the topic of what Hex has done, what Hex has done and what it's doing and what it will continue to do, and how you have individuals who've understood the principles that Richard has been teaching and even learning how certain things evolved. That with unpopular decision, like with this whole OA, origin address thing, is very unpopular in the minds of certain people. The psychology, we get into these types of mental warfare and things with ourselves that sort of like dupes us out of making the right decision, and we get stuck. Oh no, OA this, OA that. But then you see, has anyone gotten scammed? Keep it simple, keep it real, keep it simple, people. Has the OA done anything malevolent, not benevolent? Has the OA hurt anybody in the community? Has it done anything hurtful or harmful or taken any monies away from the community to date? To date, people, to date. And you still want to live with your negative mentality and energy, that's on you. And I'm talking not for my viewers or for people who just refuse to see the truth, to see the real, acknowledge the data that's already been transcribed and documented on the blockchain. The activity is all there for everybody and anybody to see for themselves. If you really want to dig deep, you'll find what you're looking for. That's why a lot of times people don't understand why there's so few people in the world that have everything. You see? And we're living through history because I have a great feeling that we're becoming members of that few. We're becoming members of that few who are utilizing our consciousness in a way to attach our understanding to certain things that are available to us that could bring benefit and that will propel us to amass an abundance that we couldn't even conceive right now, because we are taking the chance. We are taking the risks. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about calculated risks, right? We're taking the chance and the calculated risk to do something that the majority of people in crypto won't do. Forget about even the world. I'm talking about a majority of the people in crypto. If you only have 100, let's say 150,000 people who lock up their coins and mine them and receive daily yield. It's that 150 if they remain steadfast, because, you know, life is life. But it's the miners of this token here that's going to become members of the few who own everything. I say that because people get shaken out. People shake themselves out of situations. They shake themselves out of opportunities. You mean to tell me folks won't become tempted? If Hex goes up to 25 cents right now, you mean to tell me people won't want to sell? If Hex goes up to 50 cents, if Hex hits $1 within the next month, you mean to tell me folks are not going to sell? Of course they are. Of course they are. And that's fine. They have the right to. That's, you know, part of market activity and things of that nature. But those who've mined longer, for a longer period of time, past a month, years down the line, with simple price appreciation continuing, the T-share rate increasing over time, and when you have tokens that are bonded to Hex, like Hedron and ICOSA, and particularly ICOSA, which is going to become more, it's going to yield less over time because the T-share rate of Hex keeps going up. So that means there's going to be less ICOSA to mine. For example, those who remain at the finish line, whenever that is, will become members of the few who have everything, or who have many things. I can necessarily say everything, but many things. And if you reach that point, that means you were particularly chosen to reach that point, or you made the right decision and became very well off. And I'm speaking about this because this is afforded to many. This is just, it's here, folks. It's here. It's here. Like, it's already here for us. And we could thank things like, we could thank, Richard for having the thought to help bring this to existence, to help this manifest in a way. And there's still more evolution taking place. 2 years ago, we didn't see all this happening. I got into the community at the beginning of 2021. When the bear market the bull market was on its way for for Bitcoin to reach 60K. This is a beautiful time. I'm telling you, during the bull markets, you could throw anything at the wall and it could make you money. But it's not about gambling. It's not about taking those risks. It's not about playing casino, slot machine. It's not about that. It's about even now knowing that even when the market changes, you're still making money. Whether the markets go up or whether the markets go down, you're still making money, and that alone is rewarding. It brings peace of mind. And you'd like other people to experience what that is, but if they don't, it's not your fault. It's not. Think about what Bitcoin was back in 2009, 2010, and where it is now. The price points, the highs, the all-time highs of Bitcoin over a span of 14 years, the first 13 years, between when it was, January 3rd, 2009, and when it reached its high. The end of 2021, November 2021, around 67K or so. And if you have the opportunity to jump into an asset that is akin to the fastest appreciating asset class, fastest in abundant appreciating asset class in abundance, this is only 3 years old. And that's Hex, the underlying force that drives all of these things in the community right now. All of these things, meaning all of the legitimate derivative coins. Here we are. Imagine, like I've said this in my recent live stream too. Look, I've experienced these bull runs, and there's no words. It is just great. During the bull market, beautiful. I've experienced at least, between 2017 now, two of the more popular, longer standing bull markets, average a year apiece. took place. The end of 17, yeah, the beginning of 17. I would say the spring of 17 towards the end of 2017 was the bull market. I was there for that. And this last one, beautiful time, beautiful field, beautiful everything, right? So these next bull markets that are coming, and that's not what, and I would say they will come, they often occur after the Bitcoin halvings. After the Bitcoin halving, something special happens where you'll see, but do the research. So I'll say like within the next 5 years, you hang around for at least the next two bull markets. You hang around, you'll be, I guess, amazingly surprised. Either way, amazingly surprised, and that's just me. I'm not giving any financial advice, but that's just me, and that's just how I feel. Seriously, of course, the next bull market is gonna be grand. I have no reason to think otherwise. But the next two, yeah. So, and I say that again after the Bitcoin halving. So we want to say like 2028-ish, 2029. From now till then, oh, it's gonna be grand. It's gonna be grand. And guess what? I'm talking about all this. I'm speaking about all this as it stands right now. How about wait till pulsechain comes out? I'm just talking about all this stuff that I'm saying right now, and as it stands right now, yo. Wait till pulsechain comes out. Then it's gonna be drop the microphone. Take care.